Yo, what is going on, you guys? This is GamingWithSal and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about something that people are not really happy with whenever it comes to the score streaks and when they were all revealed to the players. And that is the absence of a score streak that's something along the lines of a Blackbird, Orbital VSAT, or HATR. And right off the bat, if you guys don't know what those score streaks are, basically the Blackbird's from Black Ops 1, the Orbital VSAT's from Black Ops 2, and the HATR is from Black Ops 3. And all of these three score streaks are essentially the same score streak, just different names in different games. And whenever you call the score streak in, the player icons in the minimap of the enemies show up, like the actual triangle where you can see exactly where they're moving, what direction they're facing, and how fast they're going. Yeah, all of that shows up for the enemies on your minimap. And that is a very powerful and arguably maybe OP ability for a score streak. But at the same time, if it costs high enough and you earned it, then I guess you should have that ability whenever you call the streak in. Now, the thing is that it's been part of Black Ops 1, it's been part of Black Ops 2, it's been part of Black Ops 3, but it is not coming back for Black Ops 4. And this really made all the players that were looking into the score streaks essentially very surprised and very upset, including myself, because the Blackbird or Orbital VSAT or HATR, whatever you want to call it, this score streak essentially was such a powerful score streak, and it also helped the player get that extra boost that they need to get some of the other higher end score streaks. So like if you called the Blackbird in and you needed that extra help by knowing where the enemies were, what direction they're facing, you were able to take that advantage and use it to get maybe like the chopper gunner or the attack dogs or something like that. So it was a very useful score streak, but sadly it's not coming back to Black Ops 4. Now, the reason why I feel like that this is the case is because of what a few Treyarch members said that are really into multiplayer and just the multiplayer design and score streak designs and all that kind of stuff. What they basically said is that they wanted to make Black Ops 4's multiplayer an experience where the players don't have to constantly keep looking at the minimap. They don't want it to where when we play multiplayer, we're always constantly going back and forward. Like you're looking at the main screen and then you're looking at your minimap and then you're going back to looking at the main screen and you're going back to looking at the minimap. Yeah, Treyarch does not want to do that with Black Ops 4, which is also why they added the fog of war mechanic to the minimap, which is basically like that light area around the player icon that's also shaped into a cone now, by the way. And if you want it to be a complete circle around your icon, you have to use the Team Link perk. But basically what the fog of war does is that it reveals part of the map and some enemies that are within that fog of war. And that's causing players to not really rely on the minimap as much, because now the rest of the map that's on the minimap that's outside of your fog of war is completely washed out, kind of blacked out, so you can't really see it all that well unless you move to that specific part of the map. So basically, in short, they don't want you looking at the minimap. Explains why the fog of war is in the minimap now. And I actually have a solution to where they can possibly meet the middle ground between their needs and wants and the player's needs and wants. So what my idea is that what if whenever we call in the Blackbird of Black Ops 4, whatever it's going to be called, that the minimap actually changes. And what I mean by changes, it changes into the traditional minimap that we've seen back in Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, where the player icon for you and your teammates are a little bit bigger, because if you notice the Black Ops 4 minimap, the player icons are very tiny, and yeah, it's not as big as the ones we've seen in Black Ops 1 and 2 and 3. So maybe whenever you call this Blackbird score streak in, the player icons and your teammates icons and now your enemies icons on the minimap will all increase to the size that we've seen in past Black Ops games, and that the fog of war completely disappears, and that the rest of the minimap kind of like changes its size in perspective to how big the player icons are now. And basically, like I said, more like the minimaps we've seen in Black Ops 1, 2, and 3. I at least hope that you're understanding what I'm trying to say, but I think I did a pretty good job at explaining what I'm envisioning. Now, the reason why I feel like that this is a possibility is if we look at games like Call of Duty World War II. In that game, there was a perk or basic training called Lookout, in which what it did was that it took your minimap and sort of made it larger by fitting more stuff into the space of that minimap. So basically you had much more coverage of the map in your minimap if you used the Lookout basic training. But if we take a look at how the Specialist basic training worked, suppose you didn't have Lookout equipped as the first 3 basic training you get every single time you get 2 kills. Instead, maybe it's something like Hustle or Gunslinger or something, basically anything but Lookout. When you hit the 8th kill in a row and you unlock all the basic training, well, you also unlock Lookout. And what it did was that in the middle of the game, your map would actually change. Like your mini map would go from not covering as much of the map to almost a large portion of the map. So the reason why I brought that up is because this basically proves that Call of Duty can make it where your mini map could possibly change in mid-game. So if World War II and Sledgehammer were able to do this, I am pretty sure Black Ops 4 and Treyarch could possibly do the same thing as well. Not to mention, even in Blackout, while you're playing Blackout, you can have the option to change your mini map from a square to more of like that circular regular traditional Black Ops 4 multiplayer styled minimap. So they have proof that they can change the minimap in mid-game. It's just they need to implement it. So what if they did what I just said, which is to call in the Blackbird, your minimap changes to the more traditional Black Ops minimaps in the past Black Ops games, and you get to have that effect on while the Blackbird is active. And as soon as the Blackbird is done, after like 30 seconds, it goes back to the normal way that the minimap has been for Black Ops 4 ever since the game came out. So I feel like with that, it gives the players what they want, which is a Blackbird sort of type of score streak. And then it also gives what Treyarch wants, which is to keep that Fog of War active, to keep the minimap as like a backup, not as like something that's essential to keep looking at. And it basically meets the needs of both sides. But once again, this is just my opinion. We don't even know if they're going to be adding any more score streaks in the future. I mean, they did say that this is going to be the largest, most expansive multiplayer experience that we've ever seen before, but I honestly don't really know that we can use that saying to determine whether or not they're going to be adding score streaks later on, because not a lot of Call of Duty games have added score streaks later on into the game after it's already been launched. In fact, I don't think any Call of Duty has done that. So the point is, I hope they go ahead and add more score streaks in, and if they do, they add something like the Blackbird in, and they use the idea that I basically shared, or something along the lines of that, anything to where we can meet the players' needs and their needs at the same time. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of my idea, or maybe you guys have certain ideas of your own on how the Blackbird can work if they later on implement it into the game, or if you even want to see a Blackbird sort of score streak. What if you guys agree with Treyarch and say that, hey, I mean, I like the idea that we don't have to use the minimap as much. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But anyways, that's all I have for you in this video. So as always, if you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll never miss an upload, and follow me on my social media accounts to stay connected. Links are always in the description below. I'm going to continue posting a lot of Black Ops 4 videos, so please stay tuned for that. But I'll go ahead and talk to you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye.